Join us today as we go to Rottnest Island for a day trip and see the cutest animals in the world, the quokkas. Should be a fun day. We're leaving from Hillary's boat harbour and it's a full day, so we won't get back until tonight. There are 3 different locations that you can catch the Rottnest ferry from. So Hillary's boat harbour is what we did because we're staying in Swan Valley. There's also Fremantle, which is the shortest, and Perth CBD. The ferry ride was very smooth on this occasion, but make sure you are prepared because it has had a lot of horror stories about how rough it can be. So once you arrive at Rottnest, the information centre is right there, and it won't be long before you see your first quokka. We saw this one wandering along the edge of the Rottnest Lodge, and it was just all on its own, which we were surprised to see. They were hanging out on their own a lot of the time, and it came straight over. We now realise it was looking for food, but we were just excited that it come to say hello. Nearly climbed right into my lap. And then we spotted heaps more after that. So there's lots of beautiful places as soon as you get right into the village area. We actually started our day by grabbing our bus pass. So instead of doing bikes, we got bus passes to do the hop on, hop off bus, and we did a free walking tour to see the quokkas. So one of the volunteers took us on a guided walk, told us a little bit about the quokkas, their history, as well as the history of the island. The best thing about this was that she explained to us that they like to steal human food, which is obviously really bad for them. But if you want to feed them, just grab the leaves off of the trees they're sitting under, and at least you know they're eating the right thing, and it's a really fun experience. So these ones were just so adorable. There was lots of babies, like big babies out of the pouch, but there's also some of them that still had babies in the pouch as well. So quokkas are marsupials, so they do have pouches where their babies grow up. That were just so precious. So you'll find them in the shady spots. They are nocturnal, so they're actually meant to be sleeping during the day, and most of them will be, but you'll find a few still awake on and off through the day. And then in the afternoon, they tend to get a lot more active. This is one of the cute ones that we found still in the pouch. So cute. Coming out to eat as well with its mum. So then after a few, we probably spent over an hour just sitting here with these cute little quokkas. Then we jumped on the bus, and our first stop we got off at was Henrietta Rocks. So this is a really popular spot for snorkeling. We weren't snorkeling on this day, so we just stuck our feet in the water. That was about it for this spot, but it is really beautiful. There are some shipwrecks here, which is why it is a great snorkeling spot. And we didn't do our research. We didn't know where we wanted to get off, so we just got off at a few different places towards the start that sounded good, which was great, but we probably should have researched it a little bit more because we did end up missing some of the more popular beaches on the day of our visit to Rottnest. So a good excuse for another visit, of course. The water was freezing, so being in the Indian Ocean, it is quite cold, a lot colder than what we're used to here in Queensland. As you can see, some of those wrecks. And then we went to Parker Point. This was a beautiful spot. It was so calm, shallow waters, another good spot for snorkeling. But it's also a really good spot for younger kids to just wade around in the shallow waters. As you can see, the water is just so clear. It's just beautiful. Absolute perfection. These beaches are just lovely. So we spent a fair while here just walking through the water and just admiring the view. So this is definitely a really good spot. I do recommend this one. Just see how clear it is. Amazing. And then the next stop, we jumped off at Little Salmon Bay, and this was crazy busy. It was only a really small swimming area. I don't know why everyone loved this one so much, but we didn't stay there very long. But Salmon Bay, beautiful, and this was probably our favourite stop of the day. We actually spent a fairly long time here at Salmon Bay. We went swimming. Well, 2 of us went swimming. The other 2 just put their feet in. That was about it, but a really beautiful spot. It is quite calm, although it's meant to be popular with surfers, so I guess out a bit further you get a bit more waves. It was just a lovely spot and a lot quieter. There were a few people around, but not too many. So when we went, it was summer, but it was outside of the school holiday period, so a little bit quieter, and it was a Monday. So it does get really busy, and that's something to be mindful of when you are hiring equipment, like bikes. It's probably best to pre-book them with your ferry, and always pre-book your ferry as well. And also the buses, if you do get the hop on, hop off bus like we did, it fills up really quick later in the day, so you might have to wait for the next bus sometimes, which we did have to do once. And that's on a quiet day, so something to be mindful of. Then we went up to the lighthouse. We didn't actually do the lighthouse tour. By this time we were starving, so we headed back into the village and went to Rottnest Hotel for lunch. We had this massive fish and chips meal. It was huge. We probably should have shared one. And even while we were eating, there was a quokka that came trying to steal human food, which obviously you don't want them to eat that. It's not good for them. So we're trying to stop him from eating chips off of the ground that people had left behind. Still so cute though. Then we did a little bit of the history stuff. We went to the museum. We went to the old boathouse. They've got a lot of interactive displays in there. You can learn a lot. There is so much history on this island, and it would be good to spend another day just really absorbing all that, doing some more of the walking tours based around the history. And then we went back and spent some time with the quokkas. So it's a really gross spot here. We found this area where there were so many of them sitting behind where the bins are near the residential area. So it's a bit gross. It needs to be cleaned up. But we spent ages just sitting here with them, and there was heaps of them. This one wanted to eat the croc pins off of my daughter's Crocs. They're so friendly. They're so calm. They are very clearly used to people. So while you don't want to go around touching them, they will come and touch you, which is pretty cute when they climb on your lap to try and get the leaves. So we absolutely loved it. We recommend doing this day trip if you have the time. So it's only a short way from Perth. I think our ferry was about 40 minutes from Perth, from Hillary's Boat Harbour, and even quicker if you're leaving from Fremantle. An amazing day out, and definitely a good time to go when the weather's warm so you can enjoy the beaches as well.